So hello, and I'm Thâm. I'm a Central Vietnam representative for Global Community Service Foundation. And let me introduce a little bit about Global Community Service Foundation. So Global Community Service Foundation supports communities in Southeast Asia to empower themselves through sustainable healthcare, education, and income generation programs with a special focus on ethnic minority and people with disability in Vietnam and Myanmar, which is formerly called Burma. So our goal for this year, one of our goals for this year is to set up a rehabilitation center in Cam Lo district, Quang Tri province, to have more than 200 children enduring disability due to the dioxin poisoning.
So how did you come up with your course and why did you pick that specific course?
So Global Community Service Foundation works to improve the lives of the children with disability in rural and mountainous areas. The victims of the dioxin poisoning, also called Agent Orange, are in need of in critical need in Cam Lo district. And you know, in Cam Lo, there are over 40% of the land is contaminated with dioxin, and there are more than 200 children now suffering from severe disability because of this toxics. And this happened during the Vietnam War. Most of the children now are not independent, and they are invalid, and they depend fully on their parents' care. So that also give a burden, more burden to their parents, because they have to spend, take most of the time for spending caring the children, not having really time for income generation activity. Most of the funding in Central Vietnam, however, goes to Da Nang City, but not really go to the heavily affected Quang Tri province or to the victim of the dioxin. So after working on several humanitarian projects in Cam Lo, and GCSF already found out the problem and recognized the needs for family assistance. So we already partner and get the request from the local medical center in doing needs assessment, and we joined forced to do a proposal for that.
How does your organization help UNAVSA's cause and the Vietnamese community, and how will your organization involve UNAVSA members?
Global Community Service Foundation works closely with community in rural and mountainous areas in Vietnam, building trustworthy relationships and developing solidarity with the local community. Generally speaking, Global Community Service Foundation working with local partners envision empower community in Southeast Asia, where all people, especially ethnic minorities, live dignified and productive lives, where healthcare is accessible, where children, especially children with disability, are entitled to good quality education, and where community members acquire necessary skills to gain decent and well-paid work, or pursue self-employment to adequately support their family. This project aims at establish a rehabilitation center, and the goal is to provide children affected by dioxin with occupational and physical therapies to improve the quality of life. So one of the very important components, the names that where we get the name of Global Community Service Foundation, is to attain volunteer to help in assisting the children at the proposed rehabilitation center, and this will aid in knowledge dissemination and learning, as well as offering the opportunity for cultural exchange. You know, sometimes all children need is your attention. This is very meaningful and important in terms of psychological development, especially when these children are often neglected.
So, how does your organization plan on measuring the success of your project?
Global Community Service Foundation always design our project with sustainability in mind. We do this by forming a partnership with local agencies and organizations. So we have developed a strong relationship with local medical center in Kamlo, and have formed a partnership in which the local medical center will provide staffing and operation measurement for the rehabilitation center. Furthermore, through a very detailed implementation plans and a fully structured monitoring and evaluation plans, initially planning for the first 3 years of the center, Global Community Service Foundation will collect sufficient data to observe the progress of the children and submit report to the medical center for further development of the center.
What will you do if and when you've reached your goal?
Yes, so we actually have two goals. Our first goal is to reach out to the entire population of children in Kamlo that are affected by dioxin. Kamlo is a large district and dioxin victims are scattered throughout the area. So once the rehabilitation center is set up and in operation, we would increase the scope of the program through an outreach program where services also reach out to communities that do not have access to the center. The program would also be expanded to include adults affected by or living with the dioxins. There are nearly 800 victims in Kamlo if we also include adults. Another important factor in assistance to the victim families. All of the affected families almost live below the poverty line, and their parents devote most of the time to the children, so leaving them little time to do income generation. So a simultaneous step will be creation of income generation projects for them.
If you had to promote your cause in 30 seconds, what would you say?
To promote the quality of life for children in Kamlo district living with or affected by dioxin poisoning through access to rehabilitation services in a safe environment and capacity building to empower families to help themselves and their families, surpassing the limits that once held them back. To conclude, we want to partner with UNAVSA to serve the communities of disadvantaged people in Vietnam. Kamlo Rehabilitation Center projects were proposed to Global Community Service Foundation by the medical center and local families affected by dioxin poisoning. So let's realize this dream and provide equal access and opportunities to those who require it the most.